Greetings and salutations to one and all, and welcome to another edition of No Effs Given, the podcast where we're going to talk about what's on our minds, as we usually do. And as always, this and other podcasts in the Jazzy Groove Rainy Day podcast family are brought to you by the power of 5. If you like what we do, at the very least, consider supporting the channel and hitting the like button. Doesn't cost you nothing and goes a long way to getting our stuff out to more people. And now, with that out the way, let's get involved. Today's topic is a mismatch of everything that's come before it. This is going to be what I like to call one of those epiphany moments that I've been having more and more as of late, because as the older I get, the more things start to make sense, the more light bulbs click off in my head, and the more well-rounded I become. And today's epiphany is women don't know what they want. In the whole, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but I'll say it until I can't say it anymore. I'm not talking about everybody. If what I'm saying right now does not appeal to you, please feel free to tune it out. If that means you have to find another podcast, so be it. But we're talking in generalities here. The world tends to work in generalities. Are there specific instances that don't adhere to the rules? Of course there are. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't mean that everyone has that same outcome. The exception does not make the rule. It is what it is. And I'm here to tell you one and all that women, on a whole, don't know what they want. As Myron, shout out to you in the Fresh and Fit family, as Myron likes to say, women don't even know what they want to eat. And if you don't believe me, ask your significant other / partner / husband / boyfriend / whatever. Let them ask you, "Oh, we're going out to dinner. What do you want?" "I don't know. What do you want?" And then when you say what you want, "That's not what I want." Then why did you ask? It really is that simple. If you have all these things about what you don't want, then you pretty much figured out what you want. And if the man asks you what you want, then say it. Stick your chest out and say it. Because he's in the mood with, like, you know, I'm pretty much can have whatever's going. So what you want, if it's on the menu, and with what he wants, then hey, guess what you're gonna have. But he's asked you because he wants your opinion. Or in some cases, he may just want you to pick. And whatever you say goes. It really is that simple. Women tend to make things a heck of a lot more complicated than they are because they require nuance. They want details. Men don't care what details are. They simply don't. You tell somebody something, okay, cool. What's up next? One of the best jokes I've heard in a very, very long time came from Jeff Foxworthy. who was stating the differences between men and women. And he went about it in this way. He said that, it wasn't Jeff Foxworth, it was Bill Engvert. That's who it was. And he said that him and his buddy were at a gym doing their reps and stuff, working out. And he says, and the guy says to Bill, I'm going to have a divorce. And he goes, oh, that sucks, man. Could you squat me? He took it as it was. I'm getting a divorce. Okay. That's all I need to know. That's all I care about. My friend is getting a divorce. Now, let's get back to what we're doing. Bill went home and told his wife, and that's when the question started. Did he cheat? Is it this? Is it that? Blah, 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 blah. And the question and the answer kept coming back, I don't know, baby. He just said they were getting a divorce. He didn't go into specifics because they weren't important to Bill. Now, to Bill's wife, it's the end all be all. So she's got to know. And no one's saying that's wrong. No one's finding fault with that. Because a lot of times the devil is in the details. But when it comes to generalizations and broad swaths, it's not necessary. I stubbed my toe. Period. How did I stub it? Did it hurt? How bad did it hurt? What were you doing right before you stubbed it? What were you doing right after you stubbed it? Did you get a doctor to see it? That's not important. None of that is important. Unless it becomes part of the conversation that the guy is giving. I stubbed my toe. I went to the doctor. They said it wasn't broken, but I need to stay off it for a little bit. That's it. But women don't want to just know that. They want to know the ins and outs. And I'm telling you, asking a guy that is asking for trouble, because we're not going to have that answer for you. We're just not. I'm going to segue for this a little bit. We're going to get into, we're going to get actually into a reaction of a reaction. Shout out to Debrava and all her people over there at Culture Club USA for the content. We definitely appreciate it. I'm going to just play now. I'm not going to stop it. And this is one of the few times where I'm actually not going to stop it. I want you all to really hear what is being said here. And then we'll discuss later.
Back when it comes to the woman's perspective, because I've met many women and they've told me they've taken my hand and put it on their neck.
Oh, I don't know.
It sounds good, but in reality,
there's a difference than being they feel comfortable with you.
Listen. Violence is violence. I don't play. I don't even like to play fight. I only like to fight for real. So to me, if someone wants to pretend to be rough in a violent manner, like how is choking ever? It's nothing soft and intimate.
But you trust that person.
I get it, but
so
it still speaks to the pathology of the woman. My grandmother didn't do that, nor did my mother. They do that today.
That you know of.
Of course, but it's always convenient when it comes to the women. But when it comes to men, it's definitely definite. Like that's just bias. Like I was saying, most women, if to slightly even want your man to pretend to do something that in real life would be negative, speaks to the pathology of the woman. Why do you want me to pretend to choke you? When did that become sexual? When did that become intimate? When did that become loving? When did that become becoming of a feminine woman to be choked by her man? It doesn't make sense. Y'all can make all the excuses you want, but it don't make no damn sense.
That was spot on. All right. When they were talking about the earlier, because I watched it up to that point, And it was thinking to me, well, women talking about they want the guy to choke them out. That's not loving. And let's take it to the common sense test. Then I'm gonna start calling that from now on, these things. I'm gonna start calling them the common sense test. And the common sense test is this. Is it kind? Is it just? Is it fair? There's a fourth one, but I can't remember it right now. But let's look at it. Is it kind? Choking out. Is it kind? Nope. Is it fair? Hell no. Is it just? Don't even play me. And yet, they want you to do this. And this whole choking thing, let's break it down to what it really is. And we'll get back into this in a minute. Let's break it down to what it really is. It is a double standard. If the woman likes you enough, have at it. Choke me. Choke me. If she doesn't like you, oh, grape, grape, grape. That's what it truly is. How is today's guy supposed to discern between the two? And when I say that, I'm not talking about the extremes. If she likes you, oh yeah, all bets are off. If she doesn't like you, you better watch your step. Those two extremes, those two poles are known. It's the stuff in the middle that scares me. You're just getting to know this girl. You're just getting intimate. How do you know what takes it too far? You don't just do it because if you do it and it turns out wrong, you're screwed. You are screwed. There's no two ways around. And like the guy in the video said, full disclosure, I ain't with that program. I also don't like to play fight, let alone real fight. Because if you play fighting and something happens, suddenly it's not so playful anymore. And to me, the best way to stay out of that situation is not to be anywhere near it in the first place. I can't choke you out and risk getting into trouble if my hands are nowhere near your neck. Again, it is what it is. And I keep hearing people talking about, oh, it's consensual, this, that, and the other thing. Bull. It's not consensual. Although you can argue the point, yeah, it is, because both people are understand the risks involved and they're willing to participate. That is consent. I allow you to grab my neck and pretend to strangle me. But then it comes back to this. Since when is that considered part of intimacy? How is playing at destroying someone that you allegedly love intimate? The math ain't mathing. It's not adding up. And that brings to mind something much all through elementary school. The teachers always tell us, show your work. How did you get to the answer? Show me how you got there. Let's get back into this and let's hear what the brother has to say a little bit about it.
fantasy.
Exactly.
Part of it actually is
really
science.
in fantasy. That's where y'all living.
Part of it actually.
Wow. Okay. Hello. Man, he is just spot on with this episode. And I'll tell you why. Because what he's saying proves that all these women are addicted to corn. That's the point. That's the point. Because society and our culture has pushed all of this stuff onto young women from a very young age, so they're addicted to corn. So they don't understand how it is anymore to just like fall in love with the boy living next door, and you know your parents don't want you to be together and you're hiding to see him and you're excited and you can't wait. Like none of that exists anymore, because you go straight from the womb to being 9, 10, 12 years old to YouTube watching corn. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Well, he's calling these girls out on their BS.
It doesn't make sense. Y'all can make all the excuses you want, but it don't make no damn sense.
It's a fantasy.
Well,
Part of it actually is
really
science.
in fantasy. That's where y'all living.
Part of it actually is science. When you allow a certain amount of oxygen to be deprived from the brain, you orgasm harder.
I want to move
That shit sound
away.
good.
She's sitting here talking about the brain. First of all, she's brainless, okay? Now she's a brain surgeon, this one, okay? But first of all, and let me just say this, okay? If these girls never saw these things that they're fantasizing about from Andrew's stats, they wouldn't want it, because it wouldn't exist in their mind. Get it? They're seeing it because they're growing up with access to corn. That's why anybody on OnlyFans, all these women, all you're doing is destroying women, because they're seeing it too. So if you hadn't seen it, if you hadn't seen a girl getting essayed, or if you hadn't seen that stupid 50 Shades of Grey, you wouldn't know it existed, and you wouldn't be saying that you would want it to happen to you. You see? Just saying.
Harder.
I want to move
That shit
away.
sound good.
Hold on, guys. Let's move away from. Andrew brought up that one example. I want to move away from the study about women's fantasies. Let's get back to kind of like the meat of the conversation here. So you brought up this 1 in 4 number. Okay. So.
Brian. Is Brian getting a little testy? Because Andrew's like, look, Andrew, okay? I want to get away from Andrew right now, okay? Because this is not about Andrew. Andrew didn't start the Whatever podcast, guys. I did. Okay, I did. Let me just make that clear right now. Okay, we're not talking about Andrew and his stats right now. All right, get him off the camera. Get him off. Get him popcorn. Send it over. Airship it. I don't care what you got to do, okay? Brian, come on. Control your emotions.
Okay. So this includes, I'm just curious here. If the man had 2 drinks, the girl had 2 drinks, is that SA?
Is that what it is according to the study?
I believe there was some component, even consensual sex between 2 people who had consumed some degree of alcohol. They deemed it as SA.
If it's consensual,
Okay, well, how is that possible? Okay, I'm just going to bring this back. So if a woman decides to drink, we're not saying somebody who was drugged, okay? We're not talking about the SA drug or somebody, spiked their drink with something, okay? We're talking about women who consciously decided to get drunk and wasted and then go and sleep with somebody. I mean, really? How? So now that's considered SA too? This is how out of control this is. Women, first of all, you shouldn't be drinking. And you can't be drunk and then go and blame the man for SA when you went and had sex with somebody because you were wasted and now you feel bad about it later. It doesn't work that way.
Wow. She's right. Now, how many times will you hear about women who go out on the town, get drunk, go home, have a one-night stand with a fella, and they want to blame him the next morning because reasons. He's SA'd me. No, he didn't. You both wanted it. You changed your mind for whatever reason. But the bottom line is that you wanted it. You went there with that outcome in mind. That was the end result, and you both knew it. and you both were okay with it. Now all of a sudden, it's not okay. Miss me with that ish. Miss me with that ish. And that right there is why so many guys would rather be by themselves. Because, as I stated on other podcasts, in their zeal to balance the scales, men in general and white men in particularly went too far the other way. And I'm sure there are reasons behind them wanting to do that. And they're not all that good. But in the end, you got people who want more. I mean, it's the nature of humans to be greedy. It's one of those traits that we have that we would, in an ideal world, we wouldn't have. But there they are. And it just, the whole thing is just so yucky. Once again, we want to thank the Bravo and the Culture Club USA crew for bringing this to us. The woman is talented. You got to give credit where credit is due. And I'll be right back. And I'm back with just enough time to say thanks for stopping by. And once again, we operate in the power of 5. Like, comment, share, notify, subscribe. If you really like what we're doing and you want to rock with us, that's the best way to do it. But if you feel the need to go even further, to really show your support and wanting to see us get better and better, consider a donation through the links below. If you have a question, a comment, a concern, let us know. If you have an idea for a show, jot it down. Shoot it to us. If we like it, we just might do it. And as always, we'll give you credit for it. And with all that being said, this is OBJ saying peace to you all. Take care of each other. And good night.